And I realized that
Scooby-Dooing is the best. Like, this is the Scooby-Doo drama.
just Scooby-Dooing it around. And yeah, so I just... Annyeonghaseyo, welcome to Afternoona Delight, where Lea, Megan, and Amy, romance novelists, and your K-romance guides. So grab some dekboki and listen to your new favorite unnies. Hey, everybody.
Hey, Megan.
I like saying Leah's line. It's a good line.
I love how we just kind of like fell into our little intro.
I know. I don't even know how that happened.
The way we always say hi. But it is just the two of us tonight for very good reason. Because Lea is at the kickoff, the opening of the Roses Dawn to Dusk tour with the concert in, where are they? Is it San Diego?
Francisco?
San Francisco.
I think it's San Francisco. And she's with Becky.
It's one of the sands. It's one of the sands.
And she's with Becky, who's the fruit maven from It's Banana podcast. So they are having a great time.
So excited because I'm hoping that they are going to copiously jot down the set list.
Oh, right.
So that I can memorize every single song before I see them in just under 2 weeks in Denver, because I'm so freaking excited.
I'm so excited for you too. I love concerts. I love the Rose. I'm very happy for them. They made it on the Billboard for the first time.
They hit a lot. They hit a lot of numbers on the Billboard charts. Yeah,
but wasn't it the first time they did on the Billboard? I thought. I
think. I mean, this is really big. This is only their second album.
Right?
Because they did their album, then they did their military. They're back together now. New management, like all this new stuff. And I mean, this album is fire. It's so good. I can't stop listening to it.
I'm so proud of them. I've been seeing so much more talk about them on social media, and it's not just the algorithm doing its thing. I really am seeing.
That's good, because for me, I know it's the algorithm because I seek them out.
Right.
So I can't tell what's natural and what's not.
Yeah, it definitely is. So no, I'm happy. We miss Lea. We will see her back next week. But again, it's a good reason. And the drama we're talking about today, which we'll get to in a little bit, she didn't watch anyway. She watched.
And she doesn't want to.
She doesn't want to. She bailed. And, you know, I think that is one thing I was thinking the other day, that it is nice to have three of us, three hosts, rather than two. Because it's like, if one person doesn't watch something, there's still like two other people who can, or I just like that we can do kind of like a mix of dramas.
Absolutely.
Because of that,
yeah.
Because our interests are so different. And obviously 3 people can watch, if we spread out our time, we can watch a lot of different things. So, but okay, so I have something I want to talk about.
Which I haven't heard about. So I saw a picture on Instagram, but like, I don't know anything else.
Right. So if you follow me on my personal Instagram, I completed my first 5. I say completed because there wasn't necessarily as much running as I would have hoped. So I completed my first 5K, and
congratulations!
Thank you. And look, I do want to say on the outset, I'm very proud of myself. So I've talked before. My son is a cross country runner, and my husband is preparing for a marathon in November. And he's kind of gotten the whole family into running. And as much as like I kind of complain about him, look, at least this is what he's getting us involved in. He's not like getting us involved in drugs. He's like, let's be healthy. Let's be healthy as a family.
As many husbands try to do with their family, is like, guys, come on. Yeah. Let's all smoke together.
Let's do the meth. Yeah, no. So he's trying to like, I appreciate that. So of all things, if he's trying to get the family involved in something, I can't complain about it. So he's like, let's do this 5K fun run. And it's at like a park that's 5 minutes away from our house. It's, you know, and it's charity for an organization which helps pay vet bills for people who are in need. They can't afford to pay. Yeah, so it's a good charity, and it was a fun run. So meaning it wasn't like super formal. You didn't get bib numbers, anything. You just like fucking got on the thing and ran. Okay. And not that I had been to a 5K before, but I was aware that a lot of people walk 5Ks. Like, that not everyone is jogging a 5K. Sometimes people come out and they just walk the whole 5K. And, you know, Neil assured me too. He's like, oh, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. And I was like,
so you didn't like train to run it?
Well, I mean, I've been walking. Like, I can easily, like, I walk 2.5 miles several days a week in my neighborhood. Like, I knew I could walk 3 miles. And I had a goal, which was to at least jog, because I don't run. Jog 1 full consecutive mile. Like, not stop, just 1 full mile to jog. So that was my goal, basically. So we get there, and I didn't realize there were a lot of people there, and I could just tell by some people with strollers. I was like, this will be great. It'll be totally fine. Like, a lot of people are going to walk. But I didn't realize that there was a 5K fun run and a 1 mile dog walk.
What?
So so a lot of people brought dogs because it was like a pet charity. So a lot of people who would have walked the 5K did not walk the 5K. They just walked the 1 mile, like, dog walk. So okay?
Yeah.
So we line up for the 5K, and I remember looking around, like, where are all the runners? There weren't that many runners. That's why. There weren't that many people, like, who were actually doing the 5K.
Okay.
So the 5K starts, and already, like, Neil and Dane, my husband and my son are just, like, gone. And I was going to run with Hazel, who's my 10-year-old daughter. And so I'm like a very slow jog. Okay, like, listen, I jog like a 13-minute mile, over a 13-minute mile. Like, I am a slow
It's okay.
jogger. And so I'm just, like, plodding along, and Hazel's trying to run with me, and I think she literally didn't know how to run that slow. So as people are, again, we are 10 yards from the start line, and people are just streaming past me. And Hazel turns around and really loud goes, "How are you going that slow?" Like, really loud around all these people. And I was like, this is my pace. Like, and I didn't know what to say. And I think she was honestly confused. Like, she wasn't trying to, like, runner shame me. She seriously was like, I don't understand how it's possible to jog that slow. And she couldn't. She physically tried. She would, like, run and then stop and look back at me.
Were you running faster than or running slower than you would, like, speed walk?
No, I think I still jog faster than I could walk. Cause I walk like a 17 or 18-minute mile. I can jog like a 13 minutes. So so immediately I realize, again, you kind of travel about 10 to 20 yards, and then the course takes a turn. So it's at a park, a very, like, wooded park. And I realize as soon as I take that turn, 20 yards into the race, I'm the last one. Like, Hazel's gone. She's fucking gone.
She had enough.
Like, Roadrunner left me in the dust. She is gone. And I am like, holy shit. I'm the last one. So
where are the dogs?
So the dogs, well, this is another thing. So I thought the dogs would just be, like, behind us, like the people that were doing the dog walk. No, they took a whole nother route. And then I had to pass them. Like, they were coming towards me, and I was going so I'm just, like, passing all these fucking people and their dogs as I'm, like, gasping. So I did what I wanted to do. So let me just say, it's a positive thing to say about myself is I jogged the entire first mile. I mean, as soon as I hit a mile on my watch, it dinged at me. I was like, and like I started walking,
like, sputtered to a stop,
like an old jalopy, like, sputtered to a stop. And so I'm, like, kind of walking. I kind of picked up the pace a little bit. And so the course was actually 2 laps. Okay. So basically I came around and I could see the start line again, but I had to do another lap.
Did you
listen? Yes. Because all of a sudden I hear people cheering and I look behind me.
They think you're in front.
No, they did not think I was in front. Trust me. They took one look at my beet red face and they were like, she's a lapper. Like, she's getting... Oh my God. So the woman, there was this woman who was fucking booking it. Like, I cannot believe she ran her 5K in 20 minutes. So she starts powering behind me and I am like holy shit. Like, I don't even mind getting lapped, but there was like a photographer at the end. I don't want to fuck up this woman's pictures. So I just
want to see like a picture like in the local paper. You just in the distance behind her.
Because it's me in the distance in the grass. Again, beet red face, sweaty t-shirt. You know, and she's like this like slender gazelle of a woman finishing the race. So anyway, she crosses. I hope I just looked like a volunteer in the distance and not a runner getting lapped. And I realized,
could you like grab a cup of water somewhere and just hand it to someone?
Just grab someone's dog and pretend like I'm there with my dog. Oh my God. And so I realized then, again, so this is again where we're back and there's like a 10 to 20 yard little straightaway and then a turn where it's like wooded and you can't see once from the finish line, you can't see once you take the turn because the woods. And I turn around and I realize I knew where Dane and Neil were in the course because I'd kind of like see them. They were about to like turn the bend and see me. And I was like, I cannot let them know. I cannot let them know I'm this far behind. Oh my God. So I quickly sprinted. I sprinted around and then immediately started walking. Sprinted out the bend. Because I was like, I can't let them know. I can't let them know I'm this far behind or they're going to worry about me. They're going to worry. And at this point, there actually had been one woman still sort of behind. I had passed her, believe it or not. I had like passed her a little bit earlier. And so I was like, oh, well, I'm not the last one. But even if I was, it's okay, but I'm not. She must have like only done one lap because she was fucking gone. Like nowhere to be seen. And I was like, okay, well, I'm officially the last person. And I couldn't even see the person in front of me. Like they were minutes away, minutes in front of me, minutes. Amy, minutes of running time.
Just you alone in the woods.
It's just fucking me alone. And so there were volunteers at various stages, and they're trying. It's a charity. They're just being friendly. They're like, "Way to go! You're doing great." And I'm like, "No, I'm fucking not." But thank you. And so I get to kind of like one of the last volunteers, and I was like. I said something like, I was like delirious. So I was like, I'm trucking along. And he was like, no, you're doing fantastic. And I was thinking, you're just being nice. And maybe I'm not the last one. And then really loud, I hear his walkie-talkie crackle to life. And it goes, okay, the last runner in the blue's coming by you now. And I could tell he was like fumbling with it because it was like really loud and like obviously I could hear it and I'm there jogging at the slowest pace known to man. So I'm reaching the end and I actually see Dane had like come back to find me. I think he was concerned.
Aww.
He had like come back. And at that point, towards the end, I actually did pass. So the only person that had been even close to in front of me was like a little girl. She was maybe like 10 or 11. And her dad had already finished the race. And then he came, like, he was like number 1 or something. And then he came back to walk with her. So I actually did kind of jog and I did pass her. And I probably would have walked with her.
So you feel good about passing a 10-year-old kid?
I do. I feel good about passing a 10-year-old girl. Because her dad was with her. And so I kind of finally like make it up this hill and I'm trucking down and I see like Neil and Hazel and then Dane had come back at that point and Neil just has this like big smile on his face. Like he was really like, he wasn't like embarrassed. He was like, you're doing great.
Aww,
like
that's awesome.
And then the very last volunteer I passed, she's like, I'll run in with you since you're the last one. I was like, you bet. And like no one was at the finish line. Everyone
went home already?
Everyone was already eating their fucking bagels. Like no one, I seriously thought no one thought anyone was still out on the race course. Like I fully believe no one thought that I was still running, but I crossed the finish line. I got my water and I teared up a little bit.
I mean, because you should be proud of yourself. You did something you've never done before.
I did something I've never done, and I didn't give up, even though I knew I was going to be last. Like, the whole time I was like, I'm going to be last, and I know I'm going to be last, because I don't even count the 10-year-old girl as being last. I mean, she was like 10.
So was Hazel.
Right. Yeah, Hazel did great. She did it in like 37 minutes. I did it in like 43 minutes. And so I was really, really proud of myself. It's just that it was like ludicrous. Like everything about it felt ludicrous. And of course, Neil got third place.
Oh my gosh.
For men's. He got third place for men's, and Dane got fourth place for men's. And then there was like little old me just coming in at the end. But I did it just like Mount Washington. I forced my ass up there, and I'm proud. And I have to do another.
You should be proud, and I'm proud of you.
Thank you. So I have to do another 5K in 2 weeks.
You have to?
Well, I don't have to. Neil signed me up, and he's like, I'm like 99% sure there'll be people that walk this one. I was like, okay, because this is in Baltimore, so I cannot be like left alone running.
You're going to Baltimore for a 5K?
Yeah. It's like a big like event thing. It's a half marathon too.
You're going for a PR?
Yeah. Oh God. That's what Neil was like. Do you have a time you want to finish? And I go, Neil, I just want to finish. Like, are you fucking kidding me? I don't have a time. I never have aspirations to like beat a time. I just want to cross over the finish line. So hopefully that woman who finished first, God bless her, she did amazing. I hope I'm not in her photos. That's all I can ask for. I mean, getting lapped on like a charity run 5K.
I'm laughing with you, not at you, because there's nothing wrong with finishing in 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 50 minutes, doesn't matter.
Yeah. Or first or last, as if you did it. And
the point is finishing.
Yeah, I will say the running atmosphere at any race is so great. I mean, because I passed that little girl and her dad was there, and I was like, it's my first 5K, and he was like, you're doing, he got first place, and he's like, you're doing amazing. I think you're great. And I was like, oh, buddy. I mean, I know you're just saying that.
It's a good little community.
I'm glad I don't know that you're lying, but leaving it.
The walkie-talkie is the best part of it.
The walkie-talkie. It's like, last runners, come and bite out in the blue. You can see her. And I was like, that's
everybody can finally go home.
Yeah, they're like, you can finally come in. Jesus Christ. Because that's the thing. They all had to stand out there until I was done. I did feel bad. I was like, clearly you're out here.
It's less than an hour of their life. It's not a big deal.
It was, 43 minutes of their lives. So thank you to the volunteers. They were all super friendly. Like, I can't say anything bad. It was a very good experience. The experiences that were hard were all of my own making. But anyway, thank you for listening.
You're welcome.
I had to get that off my chest. And I hope, and this is what I said on Instagram, like, do hard things. Even if you're last place, it doesn't matter.
Finishing is the important. It's not win or lose. It's completing the challenge.
Yeah. And I've been trying to get healthier, and this is kind of, my step. It feels good to kind of have these like races to look forward to. And it was really sweet because I would say I posted on social media and got a lot of people who were like, good for you. Like, I'm proud of you. And that was really nice. Not that I need like external validation, but sometimes it's nice to.
But it's nice to be recognized that you tried something hard and you did it.
Yeah. And it's nice for people to like be encouraging. Like it wasn't necessarily that I just needed the attention or something. It was nice to feel validation from like my friends and family and loved ones.
Of course.
And stuff like that. So yeah, it was good. I'll let you, hopefully the Baltimore one, I'm not like lost on the streets of Baltimore.
Is that one before or after your wine country trip?
Right. It was the weekend before.
Okay.
Like it is like 3 days before.
Okay. So that's better. Like you're not going to be like,
oh my God.
Yeah, waterlogged on wine or whatever.
Because we're drinking like the whole time.
Right. On Segways.
Yeah, on Segways. I promise I will let you know how that goes. Yeah. Well, before we get into, I know we're already 20 minutes in, but let's talk a little bit about how Amy and I had our worlds collide this week, because I found it very funny.
So I'm a newly ordained, I guess you could say, Swiftie from, my whole saga that happened this summer. And all of a sudden my TikTok For You page is all like the Kelsey brothers, which is cracking me up. And
from the NFL.
From the NFL. Yeah. from the NFL.
For those of you who are not Swifties
Travis
or of
Kelce of the Kansas City Chiefs and Jason Kelce of the Philadelphia Eagles. Go me for knowing two players on two teams I could not care less about.
I'm honestly shocked.
Yeah.
I'm shocked that there's reasons. But yeah, there's reasons you know what team they're on.
Right.
Still, I'm impressed.
But the reason why I sent the TikTok that I sent was not football related. It was a hilarious clip from the Kelce brothers, like, have a podcast. And it was Jason Kelce asking Travis if he'd ever seen the Twilight movies. And Travis is like, no. And Jason's like, they're horrible. And then goes on to summarize all 4 of the movies in great detail, in like a hilarious way too. Like, if you want to see Twilight in 3 minutes, very funny. Like, I highly recommend. But then Megan writes me back. She's like, oh my God, this is killing me. Like, Jason Kelce has been like my favorite player for years. And it's so weird to me that you know who he is.
Yeah. Like, the last thing I ever thought was that Amy would send me a link to their podcast, which I do listen. I don't listen to I actually don't listen to their full podcast. It's very football-y.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I don't want to get that much in the weeds about football. I like to watch it, but I don't need to analyze it. But I listen to a lot of their clips. I follow their podcast on social media. So I listen to a lot of the clips from the podcast. I like it. And, never in my life did I think that, cause that's like the football. I do really like professional football, the NFL. I'm a big Philadelphia Eagles fan. If you follow me on my personal social media, you know that. Cause I post about it every weekend. I'm going to my first Eagles game in November.
Ooh,
my
exciting.
First ever Eagles game. I am so excited. So anyway, it was just weird because I never thought in
of
my
all
life
people to send you like a football link.
That Amy would send me, and she would ever even say the words Jason Kelce. And Jason Kelce, again, has been like my football crush and like my favorite player for years. And so it was like so hysterical. I was like, how are our worlds, because of Taylor Swift?
She brings everybody together.
She does. She brings everyone together. So, and I love it. And then I've been sending her, cause like the memes that have popped up because of this Taylor Swift
I love
dating.
it.
Cause she's dating, I mean, again, for those of you who don't know.
Supposedly dating.
Right. Whatever. She's
Travis
seeing
Kelce,
Travis Kelce, which is Jason Kelce's brother. Jason Kelce is married with 3 baby girls, so he's good to go. And his wife is amazing, and his little girls are really cute. And it's awesome. His oldest daughter's name is Wyatt.
Ooh, I like that.
And she is so cute. And Travis is like a cool uncle. But yeah, it's the memes because of this situation are freaking hysterical. And I love it because I can send it to Amy now and she like gets it. Like,
well, the funniest thing, so it was, I mean, the whole thing that started this, right, was Taylor Swift being in the Kelce box at the Chiefs game with their mom and, you know, dressed in Chiefs gear and whatever. And, like literally the next day all over TikTok, it was all like women being like, you want to like send your guy into like an emotional tizzy. Here's what you do. And like, I'm sure everybody's seen it. It's all people be like, you know, like Taylor Swift really put this Kelce guy on the map. Like nobody knew who he was. And now everybody knows about football. Yeah. And the men are like flipping out. Like, I know he's won multiple Super Bowls. Like, he hosted Saturday Night Live after the Super Bowl last year. Like, I knew who he was already, but I didn't care. Now I care.
And it also doesn't matter. It's the fact that, like, obviously these women are doing it to be funny.
Right.
And
they know.
Hysterical. Yeah. It's honestly my favorite meme, but all the memes are so funny to me. Cause I do feel, I'm not in the Swiftie fandom, but like I'm aware of it. I respect it. I understand fandom. So the fact that these two sort of like fandoms that you never thought would interact are now like meshing it's pure delight for me. Like, it's pure entertainment.
I was gonna say, I love like one of the other things that's, you know, popping up in memes is that, you know, for them, it takes a whole team to sell out a stadium. For her, it's just her.
Yeah, it's just her. And like 20 times over.
Right. Right.
Like she would have sold out like 3 of those stadiums. Yeah. So anyway, but that's what's been going on in our lives, this week, I guess. So just to give you an update, Leah's going to listen to this like, oh, ladies.
30 minutes and you're still not talking about the boring drama.
Okay. Well, well, I will say, we weren't really going to podcast this, but then when we realized that Leah wouldn't be here tonight, we were like, well, both Amy and I have seen this drama, so let's cover it. And I know a lot of you have. So, and I feel like a lot of you had similar thoughts that we did. Maybe not as extreme as Amy's feelings, but we'll see. We're going to talk about a drama tonight that recently came out, and we're excited to talk about it.
And my feelings are were like a roller coaster for this drama, because they started like going up that, getting ready for that drop, and it was so exciting, and I was so into it. And then you went down that first drop, and it just never went back up again for me.
I know.
But we'll get to that. So
we'll get to it.
Yeah. So let's jump in, shall we?
Yay. Okay. Yes.
So Hwang Min-hyun, known better by his stage name as just Min-hyun, is a former idol with both the bands Wanna and Newest. He first wormed his way into your Nuna's hearts as the lovelorn second male lead, Soyul, in Alchemy of Souls. Did you see what I did there with worm, by the way?
Good one.
The character was just like the goodest of the good, the biggest martyr for love to ever martyr, and a badass mage, and we loved him with our whole hearts. So color us excited when we saw that he was going to be the lead in a romantic suspense drama. So, a little bit about My Lovely Liar, spoiler free, of course.
My Lovely Liar is a 2023 drama directed by Nam Sung-woo, starring Kim So-hyun, who only one of your Nuna recognized as Kim Sun, sister of Kim Shin from Goblin. I wonder who that was. And Hwang Min-hyun. In this drama, Kim Soo-hyun plays Mok
Kim So-hyun. Kim Soo-hyun is...
Oh, sorry.
That's somebody else.
Someone different. Kim So-hyun plays Mok So-hee, a woman with a special ability to hear if people are lying. While she considers the power a curse, as it makes it hard to trust anyone when they blatantly lie to her face, she also makes buku bucks as a liar hunter, someone people hire out to catch their lovers, business partners, etc. in a lie. Enter Kim Do-ha, So-hee's new reclusive next-door neighbor. As one run-in leads to the next, they start to catch feelings, and So-hee learns that Do-ha is suspected of murdering his ex-girlfriend back in their hometown. Although he was acquitted, he now lives in hiding so as to A, not tarnish his politician mother's reputation, and B, to avoid getting unalived by his ex's brother who still believes Do-ha is the killer. Can So-hee use her liar hunting powers to figure out the truth? Or is she, dun dun dun, falling for a murderer?
That sounds awesome.
Again, great blurb. And you should have written the blurb for like Asian Wiki. I mean, that's a great blurb. Truly.
I mean, I know. I want a job writing blurbs for K-dramas. I really do.
Same. Me too.
So we do want to point out a trigger warning that this drama does display a few instances, like 3, of attempted suicide. So if that's something that might steer you away from the drama, we want to let you know up front. Like I said, it is 3 instances. They're not like gratuitous or gory or anything like that, but it is 3 attempts at suicide. So just wanted to put that out there. And always, we will start our discussion with some spoiler-free chit-chat, and then after the K-pop rec, we'll dive into the nitty-gritty. So for now, if you have not watched My Lovely Liar and still plan to, you are in the clear. And we promise to give you a heads up when we hit Spoiler Town. So let's simply start with the premise and boil it down to an elevator pitch. So here's my elevator pitch for My Lovely Liar. So-hee can detect lies. Do-ha is suspected of murder. Can she use her powers to clear his name, or will trusting him lead her to the same fate as his first love?
Oh my god! That is such a good elevator pitch. I love that because you will trusting him lead her to the same fate as his first love. So you're like, oh my god, is that why he was suspected of murder? And then you're like, you want to know more. I mean, the whole point of an elevator pitch, basically, is to get someone to ask more.
Right.
And So first of all, I know that wasn't the question. Like, was this a good elevator pitch? But I'm answering that that's a really good elevator pitch.
I mean, no, I mean, not to toot my own horn, but I think it is a good pitch because, like, the question is, like, do you want to watch it based on that? You know, kind of thing. Like, does this sound like a good drama?
Yeah, I mean, I thought the premise was really good, and that's what drew me to it in the first place. I thought the being able to detect lies thing was very interesting. Kind of had like a magical realism pitch to it, but it was magical realism told in a very contemporary, modern way, meaning it didn't feel like magical realism.
No, it was almost like a medical condition.
Yes, you're right. That is how they treated it.
Yeah.
They treated it like it was a medical condition, which I thought was really interesting that they played it that way. So yeah, I mean, that's what drew me to the drama in the first place. What first sight, I gotta be honest, I don't like My Lovely Liar. I don't like that title. It was the same. I didn't like My Perfect Stranger. That my thing always is just not my favorite for a title. But then when I heard the premise, I was really into it.
Yeah, I was too. And excited for who was in it as well. So
yes.
So on the flip side, this drama's premise is fun and high concept. Without spoiling any of the finer details, do you think the drama delivered on that high concept, exciting premise?
So I think, the opening scene, I think I can talk about the opening scene because that's not a spoiler. The opening scene is really cool because it's her showing up.
I love it.
It's like
it made me think of I'm Not a Robot. Like,
like a really good high concept opening. I totally agree with you. Basically she shows up at this like old warehouse and there's these two like gangster guys who are being like dangled off of like
out of a window of like
floor.
A broke down building. Yeah. Cause it's always a broke down building.
Yeah. And she goes up and she's like, and you're like, why are you here, little girl?
Right.
Because she's like clearly really young. And of course I was immediately drawn to it because she's wearing an HM Sun Korean national team jersey. Hyunmin Sun is my all-time favorite player. I was like, and I remember Leah had watched the first episode. She's like, Megan, there is a lot of soccer in this. And I was like, yeah. So I was so excited that she was wearing that. And so, she goes up to the top floor and she's like, did you hire me? I'm the liar hunter. I'm like here for work. And the like head gangster guy's like, yeah, liar hunter, come here. And basically he has her ask the two men who he's dangling off the warehouse, did either of these men betray him? And she's like, no, they're telling the truth. And he's like, great. All right, pull him back in and save him. And then she realizes there's another gangster there who opens his mouth and right away she starts detecting that he has lies. And it's interesting. Why it's good is because it's a really good opening premise because you immediately see the difference in how she hears truths and lies. You have to be able to know that.
It's a show don't tell, like in the best way. Like that. Yeah, that's A plus.
Yes, and you have to be able to tell a difference throughout the drama because she doesn't always verbally say, "Oh, that's true" or "That's a lie." You have to infer that just, So, because when someone's telling the truth, it doesn't really sound like anything. It kind of sounds just like this echoing sound. But when someone is telling the lie, it's like this like tinny, like off pitch bell.
Sound. Like a gong,
it's
almost.
Like, yeah, it's like bang, and like it's kind of like an unpleasant sound. Mm-hmm. And that's how you know. And so right away, you understand what she does. You understand how she does it. And then, again, the truth on the lie situation. So it's a really great opening. And I was thinking, oh my God, this is going to be great. And we also get a glimpse then of like a man holding like a bloody jersey, which again is an HM Sun jersey. And I'm like, oh my God, this is like such a good opening thing. And then I would say somewhere along the way, which we will get to, the drama lost steam for me. I didn't find it as like boring, or I didn't dislike it quite as much as Amy, but it lost steam. Like it's just all there is to it. And it kind of bummed me out because the opening premise was so good. I mean, that was such a good opening.
Yeah. I mean, I was in, like all in, I want to say for like 12 episodes.
Me too. I would say 12. Yeah. 12 episodes.
And that's, well, we'll get to what happened would happen to pull me away for a little bit. But
well, and I just want to say, first of all, because I don't think the ending was bad. Like, I don't think it flopped the ending in a way that, say, like, maybe The King did, The King Eternal Monarch. I just think it...
right. Never over it. Never
right. There wasn't something at the end that made me super angry.
It just fizzled.
It just fizzled. Okay, so if you're okay kind of with, like, a slow denouement, then you would like this. But if you're... So, I don't think it's going to make you angry.
No. I was fast forwarding by the time I got to the last 4 episodes.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I was.
Yeah.
Okay. So, as I said earlier, we were so hyped to see our sad mage get a romance of his own. What did you think of the chemistry between Doha and Solhee?
I would say it was okay. And I guess that's the problem. You don't want okay. You don't want that.
And we're not saying that chemistry needs to be, like, steamy. Like, that's not at all. But there has to be some sort of tension.
Right.
And there was never tension.
No, pretty much never. I like the heroine at the beginning because she was understandably kind of cynical. She didn't trust anyone because she knows that everyone lies because she can hear it. And I liked that about her. I kind of liked that she was a little tough. But then they almost kind of made her almost too likable then. Mm-hmm. I just feel like they didn't keep up that kind of, like, tension with her character that I think, would have been better. I mean, I feel like their chemistry together was nice, but I never felt invested in it in a way that I would have wanted to.
There was not like a will they or won't they. I was never like, is this gonna work? How can this, like...
Right.
No, I was never worried for them as a couple.
Right. Well, let's talk about the idea of lies versus truths. Would you want Solhee's power to be able to tell without fail if people were lying to you?
No, I wouldn't. And I think that was one of the really good things about the drama is what she learns about lies and truths. And this idea that sometimes people lie for good reasons. Mm-hmm. And sometimes people tell you something not maliciously, but because they're looking out for you rather than, doing it for themselves. So I think there are definitely reasons to lie that are not malicious reasons. And I think that's one of the things that she learned was how to trust, because sometimes what comes out of your mouth is not the whole story. Mm-hmm. Because I wouldn't want that power, because I wouldn't want to have to try and figure out the reason behind it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, example of me running the 5K. And if I was running that 5K and someone's like, well, I think, like, you're doing great. You're doing a great job. And I would have been like, bong, and gotten like, you're lying. I would have been crushed. Just lie to me.
Right.
Lie to me and tell me I'm doing great. Like, that's when I want to hear you lie to me. And I'm fine with those lies. Please
those
tell
were not
me
lies. Everybody was very proud of you.
Yeah. Please lie to me and tell me that I don't look like a dying buffalo with like a beet red face. Like, please tell me that.
You need to give your little self some more love.
I know. So, but I was like, no. The whole time I was thinking, I would say when I first read the premise, I was like, oh man, that would be such a cool power to have. And then I'm watching the drama and I'm like, this would be fucking awful. Because she knew, like, when her mom lied to her.
Yep.
And that is so rough.
And you can't turn it off either, right? So if she's like in like a crowded, like, 'cause the way that the power works, it works only if you're face to face with people. It doesn't work on the phone or in a message, But if you're in like a crowded restaurant, you can hear her bells going off like all over the place. That's exhausting.
It is exhausting. And it was really interesting. I did like this one scene where she was sitting in a restaurant alone eating, and there was a mother and her daughter eating at a table next to her. And you could tell they didn't have a lot of money, and so they hadn't been able to order a whole lot of food. And the mom was like, you finish it. I'm not hungry. I'm full. Yeah. And it dinged as a lie. And then the little girl's like, but no, I'm full, mommy. You finish it. And it dinged as a lie. And my heart...
Right, those are good lies.
Those are good, like...
I know.
And I just... I just kept thinking, oh my God, no, let me live in my delusional land where, like, I do not, and I
don't want to know what people really think of me.
Right. But I think that was the point of the drama. Like, the drama's like, look, sometimes people say things they don't mean and there's a reason. Yeah, there's not that they say things they don't mean. I shouldn't say that. Yeah, they don't tell the full truth.
Right.
And there's a reason, and sometimes those are good reasons. Humans are complicated people.
Exactly.
And I did think the drama did a really cool job of that. And when we're in the spoiler section, I'll talk a little bit, because there are some other things that happen.
Yes, totally. Yeah. So we had quite the ensemble cast in this drama as well, with like the rest of the Looney Tarot Cafe and the other local shop owners, everyone at J Entertainment, some less than stellar parents, and the police force, leaving out our sweet, adorable second male lead to discuss on his own in the spoiler section, because he gets his own question because he deserves it.
Yeah.
Who was one of your favorite members of the rest of the ensemble?
So I actually had a lot. I really loved the ensemble. I just want to say it was really neat. There was this neighborhood of businesses. So there was a bakery owner who, by the way, like made food that looked really good and I wanted to try it. And there was, she owned like a salad place.
Yeah.
Right? She made like salads. And then there was like a bar owner. And I thought that was really cute. They came together and they had like a little festival. Like I loved all of that. But I think my favorite was Mok So-hee's. She had a tarot cafe. It's called the Looney Tarot Cafe. And Park Young-hae, who played Cassandra, is one of my, I just love her as an actress.
Yeah.
She's in tons of stuff. Like if you look her up, you'll know what I mean.
She's one of the ghosts in Goblin.
Yeah, she's one of the ghosts in Goblin.
And she is in Destined with You right now. She's, she's so fun.
I've seen her in a bunch of stuff and I love her. I think she's great. And she played this like very quirky, just what you would expect from someone who like reads tarot. And I freaking loved it.
She was fantastic.
She had great clothes. Like whoever did wardrobe for her nailed it. Just loved her so much. And then she had a bodyguard, which it always kind of cracked me up that he was her bodyguard because he was like not.
He was a cinnamon roll, like to end all cinnamon rolls.
Absolutely squishy. Like he didn't have a hard exterior. He was just soft.
Yeah.
So that was Ha Jung-woo, and he played Baek Chi-hoon. And he also had this kind of like sort of like very minor romance with the pop idol of the drama.
It should have been more of a romance.
It should have been. It was really cute. But I really love the Tarot Cafe. I thought they were really wonderful supporters of Mok So-hee, and yeah, I just thought they were great.
Yeah, I love them. I really, like, I would say, like, my favorite part about the drama was that little community they had, like, within, like, Looney Tarot and then all the other shops around. Like, that was my favorite part of the cast, is, like, all the shop owners and everybody at the Tarot Cafe. And like you said, like, when they get together and they did, like, almost like a team dinner, kind of thing. Like, when they all started to become friends, and yeah, it was a really cute little community, and they all supported each other, and I liked that a lot. I also, weird as it was, like, I don't know if I like love this character, but I just thought it was very interesting that, like So-hee's parents are split up and her mom is this like horrible con woman, and her dad cracked me up.
I did love her dad when he got stung in the eye by the bee.
But, like, he lives in the woods.
He does.
He just lives in the woods.
And he's like just chopping down firewood and
like this total like badass, like long hair, like wearing rags.
I know, he was great.
And this is not a spoiler, because I don't think like the parents' story is anything big, but like when he does like come to like win back his wife in the end, and he's like in the suit and his hair's cut short, and I'm like, who is that dude? Like,
I know.
It was funny.
I know. It was great. I loved him too.
But yeah, he just lived in the woods.
Okay, and now it's time for our favorite segment of the week. It's K-pop Rec of the Week. And this week, how many times can I say week? This week we have Amy.
And guess what? I'm going to talk about the Rose again, because it is the Rose's time to shine, and we're just going to let them keep doing it because they keep dropping new videos and they're so awesome. One of their songs off the new album, Duel, is called Wonder, and they did this thing called, for the video, It's called the Venn Diagram Project, and it's the official video, and it just dropped like 10 hours ago. And they sing the song Wonder, and it's all about like, what if none of our differences mattered kind of thing. And it's called the Venn Diagram Project because they've got people holding all different flags, and they're outside and they're making a human like Venn diagram, and the rose is in front of them singing a song. And the song is amazing. Like I freaking love the song Wonder. I love the whole album. Like I'm not gonna stop. I'm not gonna shut up. I'm sorry. You know what? I've had listeners message me on Instagram saying they started listening to The Rose because of me, and I'm like, good. I'm doing a public service here. I would like to think that I am part of them hitting the Billboard charts.
You are 100%. You are.
So Wonder. It's just this lovely song, a lovely message. You know, Woo-sung and Do-jun are like the main singers. They all four sing, but they usually do leads on the songs, and they have such different voices that just work so well together. And this song is a great representation of like Do-jun's like high notes that he can hit, and Woo-sung's like sexy, raspy vibrato that does things to me. And it's so good. I highly recommend all of the songs, but please go. I'll link it in our show notes. It is called Wonder. It's the Venn Diagram Project video that just dropped today on October 4th, but you won't know this until October 11th. But you'll get to go watch it then. So that is Wonder by The Rose.
Thank you!
Yay!
There should be no guilt or embarrassment in embracing the things that bring you joy, which is why the podcasts in the Studio Afterglow Network are tailor-made for you. Discover Afternoona Delight, where 3 American writers examine Korean dramas through a writer's lens. Join Afternoona Army, a space for BTS fans over 30 looking for thought-provoking discussions and thirst-inducing content. Delve into the world of fruit with It's Bananas, where the fruit maven shares how tasting new and diverse fruits led to her self-discovery, joy, and connection. For Asian drama enthusiasts seeking answers, we bring you Afternoona Asks, where British Chinese and Korean American hosts dive into all your Asian drama questions, including special episodes under Afternoona Asks ND, where neurodivergent straight talk and representation are prioritized, breaking down ableist perceptions. Studio Afterglow is just beginning, and we promise to keep delivering content that warms your heart and tickles your ears. Embrace your passions, find joy, and let us be your source of unabashed delight.
Okay. And so that concludes our spoiler-free section. If you haven't watched My Lovely Liar and you want to hunker down with Vicky for 16 episodes, now's the time to hit pause. Otherwise, let's get into it, because we definitely have some stuff that we want to say about this drama. And first up, because we can't talk about our second male lead without giving some of his backstory, we wanted to save him for the spoiler section. Did So Ji-hoon as Detective Lee Kong-min give you second male lead syndrome?
I mean, you were a little bit ahead of, you started this drama right before me, and the first thing you did was message me and be like, I'm like,
no, losing it.
I'm losing it for
guy.
the second male lead.
Yeah, losing it for the second male lead. Like, I fully lost it.
And all the people in this drama, they're such baby humans. Like we're talking like early mid-20s.
Oh, I know.
I think Min-hyun is closer to 30, but like these are young.
He was born in 97.
These are young baby humans, and we love them. And but yeah, I mean, this was Muk Sol-hee's first love. They were engaged, and they broke off the engagement because she heard him lie, but she never dug into the lie. And this part kills me. Because what was the lie, Megan? Why was he sort of distant and not keeping his promises to her?
He had freaking cancer. She thought he was cheating on her. Oh my god! When you find out he had stomach cancer of all things, I was like, "Good lord!"
I'm sorry, Doha. She needs to go back to him.
She needs to go back to Gong-min. Oh my god, he loved her so much. He did. He loved her.
And he was just trying to protect her. Which, I mean, I do get her still being upset about that, because she would have wanted to be there for him.
Yeah.
You know, but like...
yeah, ill-advised Gong-min, but also, you weren't cheating on her.
No, you were good through and through.
Oh.
And like they show their romance, like they show that, like that's the thing that kills me is like they show how sweet their romance is, and then they want you to be okay with him ending up alone.
I know. And throughout the whole drama, I thought I was a little, sometimes, you know, they take like a previous love and they make them like do something to sabotage. So I was like, is he going to be this like corrupt cop that like somehow finds a way to put the blame, on Do-ha? But no.
Nope. He's perfect.
No. He's a perfect cop. He then basically cleared Do-ha's name. Yep. I mean, he did, all he wanted was like to be a good cop and do justice for this girl who was he suspected she was murdered.
And to protect Seol-hee.
And to protect Seol-hee. So
he needs an SOS.
I am.
So
and
bad.
just, I already claimed him.
I know.
Just,
he's all yours.
I claimed him as my second male lead SOS. He deserves it.
That's okay, because I think I'm going to have a good one from Destined with You. So.
Okay, because I claim him. I loved him so much. I just thought he was great. And I would really, really would like to see him in more dramas. Like, please, whoever is listening, cast him. Because I thought he did a fantastic job. He was charming. He was good. He's a great actor. He's gorgeous. Like, put him in more stuff, man. Like, please. Like, now I'm looking for him. Do you know what I mean? Like, I hope that this opened more doors for him. It looked like he got some like best new male actor.
Awesome.
He got it in like 2020. So he's best new actor.
He's got quite a big list of stuff that he's been in already.
He does. You can tell it's like small parts. A lot of it. He was only in like a few episodes or blah 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 blah.
He was in Prison Playbook?
I know. I
don't remember. I'm sorry.
Know who he was in there. I know.
I'm sorry.
He's great. He's great. So anyway, I loved him. Yes, I got major second male leads. And you know what? I haven't felt that way in a while, so it was really fun to feel that way.
Yeah, he was super sweet, super cute. I liked him a lot. Yeah, he didn't deserve to end up like a lonely good cop. All right.
I know.
Like that was his like sad. This is sad, but true. He kind of became like a plot moppet.
He did a little bit.
Because he was just a vehicle to put the leads together.
Yeah.
But he was a good vehicle.
He was. He was great.
Liked him.
So, the murder plot portion of My Lovely Liar stems from the disappearance of Choi Eum-ji, Do-ha's high school sweetheart. Or Kim Sung-ju's high school sweetheart, since he's been living under an assumed name to hide from Eum-ji's vengeful brother, Choi Eum-ho. What are your thoughts on the execution of the murder mystery missing person case of Choi Eum-ji? Did it keep you guessing? Did you ever think that Do-ha / Sung-ju might have been a murderer?
Nope, not for a second. Zero tension. Would not recommend. Like that was the thing. Like the tension wasn't, did he kill her? I never thought that he did.
No, I never thought he killed her.
I mean, his like those big sweet doe eyes, like they couldn't harm a fly. The tension was like the vengeful brother, which it started, I get his grief, but it started to become a little bit laughable for me because he's just running around with a knife ready to stab him. And I'm like, okay, so you're going to be a murderer now too? Like you're going to, I don't know. Like it just, it wasn't, I was never on the edge of my seat. Like, ooh, what's going to happen?
This is hard for me because I was really into it. Like I was really into like the whodunit. And then somewhere along the way, I almost stopped caring. And I don't know why. And I really think it was just they weren't able to sustain the proper tension.
Mm-hmm. They were more into throwing red herrings than they were at giving you breadcrumbs to the real thing.
So many red herrings. And maybe you're right. Maybe that was the problem, is that I didn't feel like I had breadcrumbs to the truth. I just had like red herrings. So I kept getting like faked out, and it's like a little exhausting to feel that way like 3 times. And so yeah, but no, I never thought Do-ha did it.
No.
I didn't. And it was funny because there's a scene where he's like half asleep and he's like, I didn't kill her. And it rung as a lie. And I remember like it was the end of an episode, so it was like there was like a cliffhanger. And I kind of sat there for a while. And I was like, I bet it rang as a lie because he truly believes he was responsible.
That's exactly what I thought. Because he thought he thought she killed herself.
Oh man, I thought I was a genius for thinking.
No,
that.
I thought the same thing. Sorry.
Not. Yeah,
no, we're both smart. We're both smart.
We're both just geniuses.
But that was my thing. I'm like he feels guilty. So that's what she's hearing.
Which makes sense. Yeah. And that obviously once we get more to the story, it makes sense. And I see again, like I almost stopped caring about the murder mystery because I actually found like the whole like her liar stuff, like I actually found that to be much more interesting. Like, cause that was part of what she had to learn too, is that just because something registers as a lie, and again, it's not the whole truth.
Right.
Because he didn't kill her.
And she did trust him.
And she
decided to trust him.
She even though that rang as a lie to her, she's like, I'm gonna trust him. I don't know why that rang as a lie, but I trust him that he didn't do it. And I liked that. And I feel like there was just a lot. The murder mystery part almost started to not be as interesting to me. And also because towards the end, I know I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, but towards the end, I felt like they were just two like Scooby-Doo characters running around.
Super Scooby-Doo. Oh my God.
Yeah, super Scooby-Doo. They were just Scooby-Doo running around trying to like solve this crime. And so all the like
even going into like this like gambling den.
Oh my God. That was so funny because they're like liar hunter. It was like the liar hunter from the it was the gangster from the very beginning. They're like, come into my legal gambling den, sure, with your friend that we don't know, and they like go in there and start like a fight, which was very funny. But yeah, I sort of felt like I remember watching that scene when they're in the gambling den, and I'm like, I'm starting to really lose a sense of what this drama is trying to do. Like,
yeah.
You know, because there was so much leading up to that really registered with me on like an emotional level. And then all of a sudden it just kind of switched to this like whodunit. And I was like, but it's not whodunit with no tension. And again, I almost started not to care. And it's not that I didn't care about this like poor girl. It's just,
I know.
I don't know, you know? And so that was sort of frustrating to me.
Yeah.
I guess.
I was never on the edge of my seat. In the beginning, I was interested. But then it was like, there should have been breadcrumbs to help us start figuring stuff out. And instead, we don't get the whole truth until a flashback.
Yeah, and you never think Doha. I almost wish if they would have stuck longer with, like, I almost wish she would have had to been tested more to believe Doha,
yeah.
Maybe. Like, I wanted to see him get, like, fully arrested again. I don't know. I think I needed there to be some sort of test there instead of like, yeah, again, them Scooby-Dooing it around Seoul, trying to solve this murder mystery. And I realized that
Scooby-Dooing is the best. Like, this is the Scooby-Doo drama.
Just Scooby-Dooing it around. And yeah, so I just...
Here's the thing. Yeah. When you have dramas like Flower of Evil that exist out there that execute this type of tension so well,
right.
This like trust between people who love each other and like trying to hold on to that trust when like real bad shit is going down.
Right.
Like, yeah, I'm going to compare it to other things that have done it well too. But yeah, it got almost comical in the end.
Yeah. And I guess I love Min Hyun. Sol Yu, the mage from Alchemy of Souls. I mean, very, very legendary to me.
Yes.
That performance. I sort of felt like Min Hyun was just like Sol Yu without the powers.
I said somebody needs to give him a sword because it's not.
Yeah, he was pretty flat. And I truly do feel like they didn't give him enough to work with.
No.
Like, and when he did get angry, he was angry almost like, not in like a way that like made me feel like, it reminded me a little bit of Happiness. When you had, oh my God, what's the prince's name?
Park Young-sik.
Park Young-sik. I just call him the prince.
Disney prince.
Same with Park Young-sik. He was like super cinnamon roll, and then he had to like get angry a few times. And I was kind of like, but this isn't believable. And then towards the end, though, they gave him a lot to work with when they, well, I'm not going to spoil Happiness, but they gave him a lot more to work with at the end. And then I was like, oh, okay, now Pak Young-sik hit this out of the park for me. And that never happened in this drama. And yeah, he was just a little flat. And I really think they could have gone somewhere if they gave him more to work with. Maybe I wanted to see him like in jail, feeling like no one trusted him, and then her still needing to like, you know, instead she's like solving the murder on her own and going in and like interviewing the suspect. And I'm like, what are you doing?
I know. It was Scooby-Doo.
What is going on?
Scooby-Doo. Whatever you want it to be. It's like a kid trying to solve a murder.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted more. I did. So let's play a game called Battle of the Terrible Mothers. Poor Doha and Sol-hee had terrible, opportunistic mothers to contend with. Doha's mom covered up her son's supposed involvement in the murder so it wouldn't reflect badly on her as she climbed the political ladder, and then was a catalyst for him to live in hiding until she could use his future exoneration to boost her career. Sol-hee's mom, after begging and praying for her baby to have some sort of skill that would help her make lots of money, realizes that she can't swindle people like the con woman she is if her daughter rats out all of her lies and basically shows up on her daughter's doorstep asking for cash every chance she gets and like trashing her place of business if she doesn't get it. If you had to choose one to be your mom, who would you choose?
What a question. Battle of Terrible Mothers. This is hard, because I think that Doha's mother was maybe the lesser of two evils, but I couldn't stand her. She was so cold. Oh, I didn't like her at all. And a politician mother would be terrible. I'd rather have the like money grubbing con woman mother. I really would. At least she was entertaining.
She was entertaining, and like as horrible as she was, like I warmed up to her in the end because there's no excuse for the things that she does and the people that she cons, but like in the end, she was just a woman in love who wanted her man back.
Yeah, I mean, I will say this actress, her acting was so over the top, and I think that was on purpose. Like, yeah. I truly do. It's not my favorite type of acting. I will be honest. I was like, oh, this is so much, but she was so entertaining. She always had a story going on. Like, if that was my mom, I'd be like, oh, my mom's calling again. I wonder what she's got going on because she's so full of drama. And I do believe, like, I felt like there was love there, and I didn't feel like that with Doha's mom. Which is sad. She was so cold, and she had like such a good son too.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how I felt about that.
Because he would always ask her, like, "Are you afraid of me? Like, you think I'm a murderer? Are you afraid to be around me?"
That was sad.
So, very conveniently, we'll get to the whodunit in a minute, but very conveniently, in the midst of all the Scooby-Dooing around, there is a car explosion.
Of course there is.
And here's okay, it's not funny. It's funny, but it's not funny. Here's what's funny about it to me, because it's at the end of an episode, and it's like, Sol-hee is like behind, like everybody's safe except for Sol-hee. She's right by this car that's about to explode, and it explodes, and the episode ends. And it's like, oh my God, she's going to be laying in a bucket of blood. They're going to take her to the hospital. She's going to have sepsis, like, like in Crash Landing on You. It's going to be this big thing, right?
Yeah.
And instead, no, she walks away just fine. Mm-hmm. Like, because cool girls don't look at explosions. Right. She walks away just fine, except she loses her powers.
Right.
For like a minute.
And for like, yeah, it didn't last long. Look, I gotta be honest, I liked this. And this is the thing. I was like, I felt like it brought, I stopped caring about the murder. Like, I didn't care as much about that. I thought it was really interesting to kind of introduce what it was like for her now. Like, again, the whole, like, lying part of the drama is what I found most interesting. So, one thing I did not think about this whole time was how she can't be surprised. Because she knows someone is lying. Like, if they're like, oh, And so I love the idea that he was like, I'm sorry, I have to go home and work on something. I have to cut our date short. And she's like, okay. Because she trusts him. And so she goes home and she's kind of sad, but she's like, oh, he's busy. And then he calls her because they live next door to each other. And he's like, can you come over? And he had this entire, like, dinner planned. And he even says, I realize that you probably were never able to be surprised So I wanted to surprise you. And I freaking loved it because I was
that
like,
was sweet and romantic. I liked it.
Yeah, that was so sweet, so romantic. I actually, like, again, maybe they needed that earlier. I don't know. I just feel like the pacing at the end got messed up, and I think the murder got priority, and we lost some of the humanness and emotional attachment that I like had to the drama. Because I really love that. I loved when she lost her hearing.
I think her powers. I mean, the
oh,
hearing.
Yeah,
she could hear.
Sorry, she could still hear. Sorry,
but I don't think she should have gotten him back, and she got him like.
I did think it was weird she got it back.
Like, I feel like it should have been like, this is going to be like a new life now where she just has to trust people based on what she knows of them rather than base it on she hears the bell or not.
Well, I was sort of bummed she got it back. I mean, the only reason I was like, oh, well, she needs to get it back because that's like
what's
how
her
she makes her
job?
money.
Yeah.
She's a liar hunter. She people hire her. She has this little clicker, like you learn. She has this little clicker and she has her job and she's like 1 for a truth and 2 for a lie. And she'll click it when she's like listening in on conversations. Which again, I loved.
Yeah, that was really cool.
When she had to like listen in on that kind of, and so again, like that's the part I really liked. And so I was thinking, well, she needs her hearing back because she has to like continue her job.
She has her hearing.
Okay, I was sorry. When she lost her truth telling ability.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, but how's she gonna work? But even
that was
when
a good
she
point.
got yeah, but then when she got the ability back, she still didn't do like she didn't
want to be the liar hunter anymore.
She didn't want to be the liar hunter anymore. And I was like, well, then why did you bother? I don't know. I mean, I guess giving her a choice was nice, but I don't know. I kind of agree with you. I feel like maybe they should have just kept it that she didn't.
Like, she learned her lesson that you have to, it's not like always like a total right or wrong. Like, you have to trust people.
Yeah. So yeah, that's how I felt about that. But I liked it. And I thought that, Doha did some really sweet stuff. And I started to be like, okay, now I kind of like the romance again, even though I'd like kind of fallen out of love with it.
Yeah, that was a romantic date. I thought that was cute. For sure.
Yeah.
Okay. The real murderer. Or maybe not. Was the big reveal that Doha's best friend, Duck Chan, the guy who'd supposedly been helping Doha these past couple of years to live in anonymity to keep him safe, were you shocked that he accidentally murdered Umji because he was in love with Doha and Umji was going to out him? Also, was it a bit of an ick that in the final hour we get a gay character only for it to be revealed that he is the murderer?
I mean, yeah, I didn't love it. I really didn't.
I hated it.
I didn't love it at all. Look, so we also recently watched another drama that we'll talk about at another time. I'm not going to name it. That, again, they introduced a gay character and he died within 5 minutes.
And
so
I had just seen that. And then saw this.
Well, so I watched this first, then I watched that. And I was like, I'm not happy.
And I know that I'm watching through my Western lens, and I get that we are watching from a country that produces much more conservative storylines. But yeah, it was an ick for me that they turned it into...
Here's the thing.
The gay guy being the killer.
Right, here's the thing. Members of the LGBT community plus can and should be a range of characters. Like,
Sure, they can be murderers, but they can be not murderers.
They can be murderers, and I would love it. But there were 2 issues, I think, that stuck out to me. Is that, first of all, Korea, so as of now, they're not producing any mainstream content with, like, gay characters in as much positive light as, say, like, some other countries do. So representation still very much matters. So there was sort of like that. Like, there's not enough representation yet, I think, to all of a sudden just start, like, killing gay characters willy-nilly. And then, killing and then also making them murderers. And second, I didn't like it if he just happened to, like, be gay and had a boyfriend and he killed for another reason.
Right.
I'd be like,
but he killed because of the gay.
But he killed because of the gay. And I didn't like that. I did not like that. And in the other drama, again, we're not going to name yet, but these two gay characters confess their feelings. They literally hold hands for the first time for 5 seconds, and then they die terribly. And it feels like they're being punished for it. Yeah. We will talk about that. And that...
Which sucks because it is a drama that is in my top 5. I would say we'll
talk about it. That's the one... Yeah, same with me, but that's a huge thing that I didn't like. Which, you know, you can...
But I couldn't tell... I'm like, there's a thing in the drama, it's my quibble, and I can't talk to you about it until after you've seen it, because I can't ruin it, because it's also like a huge cameo, and like, And I'm probably spoiling it right now, because you're going to figure it out, but I'm not going to... Yeah, your faves can be problematic. But anyway, so I did not like it. I didn't like that he like killed because of the gay. I actually wouldn't have minded if he was like, oh my God. Like, I guess, like, I didn't like that he killed her because she was technically about to out him. Right. That was basically it. That and he didn't like, really he didn't kill her. He didn't like kill her with intent. He pushed her.
No.
And she hit her head and like turned into a bucket of blood.
Right. I mean, how these people die from hitting their heads.
So many head wounds.
I mean, it's so many. And just perfect placement of a rock.
And people falling. Never put out their hands when they fall.
Right? They just fall straight back. Like fucking dead bodies. Anyway. Like, here I go. Yeah. To my maker. So what if I would even have liked it if he was like, maybe she was like, I'm going to do something that's going to hurt Doha. And he's like, no, I love him and I'm going to protect him.
Right.
I would have even liked that more. Mm-hmm. And somehow he still pushed her and she died. But the fact that it was, I'm killing you because I'm gay and I don't want to be outed. I'm like, ooh, I don't like it. I don't like it. It makes me feel icky. So, other than that,
I mean, don't know what to say. And look, I was so excited because Duck Chan is played by Yoon Ji-an, who I loved in Tomorrow. Like, we loved him in Tomorrow.
We loved him.
And he was so super charming. And the way they tried to breadcrumb him being gay was also weird. Like, you know, he was married with a kid.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he finds out his wife is cheating, and then he's getting a divorce.
Like, where did that come from?
Right. It was really weird. It was like a random episode that just...
I was like, why are they... I mean, why are they giving him... Like, I remember you even said that. You're like, what is going on with this? His wife's having an affair. Like, why are they putting this in there? And I agree. I don't understand why that was in there at all. I don't even know why he needed a family. Like, why was the wife and
because
daughter
he was masking being gay? But
I guess, but did he need that? Like, it was like,
no, it didn't need to be in the story at all for the past motive to work.
I don't know if they were trying to like show him
more red herring. I don't know.
Stressed, or I don't know either, but well, we're in agreement on that. That's for sure.
Yeah. And like I said, I know we're watching this through a much more progressive lens, but like you said, because there are so few gay characters in K-dramas, that we need some better representation, and not to look like the storylines are there to punish you for being gay.
Yeah, I mean, we have BL dramas, but I want like more mainstream characters in mainstream dramas. Like that's what I want. So again, ick.
I know. And it was very convoluted too. Like that's
right.
And the fact that like he was making Doha Sungju live in hiding. Like the poor guy wore a mask everywhere he went, even after COVID. Like,
yeah. And he lived in like, he was a
total
sad
recluse.
And depressed, totally isolated. The whole thing was just very strange. It was like,
and also like living in guilt because he didn't know what happened to Eumji.
That's another thing.
He thought she killed herself because of him.
Yeah, he always thought she walked into like the beach, like into the ocean, and let herself drown. That's what he had always thought. And then when they, about 3/4 of the way through the drama, they find Eumji's body. And I really, that to me, that I would say like that's when the drama started just taking a nosedive for me. Like, that's really it. I don't know. And then, like, they had the dirty cop and...
Who wasn't... I mean, he was dirty because he was trying to save his daughter, which...
Oh, God.
I know. Always the bribing to save the sick person or whatever.
Always.
Always the bribing, or, you know, the building scams, the real estate scams.
Thank God there was no fucking slush funds. That's one thing.
I don't quite understand how Sungju was able to just like move like an hour away, change his name, and become like this high level music producer.
Wild.
Like super rich
absolutely.
Like we're talking like Grammy, like, you know, Grammy caliber music producer. Everybody wants to work with him. Mm-hmm. And how Duck Chan like started this company because they both came from that hometown and they both moved away and then like built this random company. I don't know.
Well, listen, good.
If you loved My Lovely Liar, I don't want to yuck your yum.
No, I mean, we have a valid reason for the things we disliked about it.
And there were things that I liked.
Yeah.
I would say like episode 12 was where it kind of lost steam for me. Like it could have ended in 12 episodes and I think it would have been able to maybe sustain a little bit better. But episode 12 was also, and I'm not going to name other dramas at this point because I feel like I've already like low key spoiled some stuff. But like what happened is episode 12 came and I was caught up with this drama. So I paused and watched another drama that had dropped on Netflix, that had dropped all the episodes. And I binged that drama that weekend. And I loved it hard.
Yeah, and then you had to
and then I came back to My Lovely Liar and I was like, nope.
I said to you, because you were like, all of a sudden you were just like, no. And I was like, look, I don't disagree with you, but I do think it's because you love this other drama so much. It was fast paced. There was a lot, you know, and then you had to come back to this. So, and that's, you know, sometimes when you watch things in your life affects, you know, your enjoyment of them. Although I'm not sure you ever would have been gung-ho about this no matter what.
No, because here's what I realized when I watched that other drama that I, you know, like cried my eyeballs out in, is that I didn't have any emotional investment in My Lovely Liar.
Oh, no.
And like I was enjoying it, but even when I like really loved it, I was not emotionally invested in anybody.
I was not emotionally invested in the romance. I was just watching it to see where it went. And I was like, maybe I'll be like, yeah, I was curious. Maybe I'll be drawn in. Well, I will say I did mention this before, but what I really did love was the liar part about it. Again, I loved that.
Yeah, it's a great concept.
It's a great concept. I love that they really had her learn. They took this like cynical heroine who didn't trust anyone, who didn't really have any friends. Cause that was also a thing too. She's like, I don't have any friends because I know they're all lying to me. And that, I'm like, oh my God, you're right. That would be fucking hard. And they dropped her in with a romance with this man who truly didn't lie. He didn't talk a lot. But he really didn't lie. And, I liked her learning so much about people because she'd never been close to people. And so throughout this drama, she learned a lot. And I love the evolution of her character was my favorite thing about the drama. And that's why when they really got in the weeds about the murder, I stopped caring because I'm like, this isn't about her anymore, you know? And he didn't really, he didn't have a huge journey like that. He just always knew he knew he didn't actually kill her. He felt responsible. And so I guess he did have a journey where he came out of his shell a little bit, but nothing like her.
Yeah. And one thing I will say that I did enjoy that we never got to is when she did lose her powers for a hot minute and she wanted to test them out to make sure she lost her powers. She's like, you need to lie to me. So she's like, you need to tell me I'm ugly. He's like, no, I can't do it. She's like, tell me I'm ugly. He's like, no, I won't do it. She's like, tell me I'm ugly. He's like, you're ugly. She's like, oh.
Yeah. She's like, yeah, actually hurt. That was mean. And he's like, I'm sorry. It was really cute. They did have really good banter. And look, they watched soccer all the time together. So I did like this. She was a Manchester City fan, which again, I am familiar with these teams. I watched the Premier League. And so she had stuff all over her apartment. And he was a Liverpool fan. And that's obviously like, you know, a rival team. Well, they're all rivals. And it was funny because the one time, like, she needed a shirt and the only shirt he had was this, like, Liverpool shirt. And she's like, oh, I don't want to wear it. And it was cute because they would watch the games together. And when he first moved in, their couches almost, like, shared the same wall on, like, in their apartments, you know what I mean? And they were watching a Liverpool versus Manchester game separately. So every time, like, Manchester scored, she'd, like, yell and he'd hear it. And then when Liverpool did something good, he'd cheer and she'd hear it. And they were like giving each other looks, even though it was like through a wall. But I love that early tension of the drama. It's just that it like dissipated so quickly.
It didn't sustain. Yeah. So yeah,
that's how we felt. I'm curious what you guys think. If you guys watched it, if you liked it, like I said, I feel like just the talk on social media and from our Patreons is, I think a lot of you felt the same. I feel like a lot of people were like, look, I liked it. Just kind of fizzled. And that's okay. I mean, sometimes people want like a low investment drama. And that would be this, I think. I think you would enjoy it. It's like, take your time. It's just 16 hours of your life.
A fantastic second lead.
I swear to God, if he's not in more stuff, I want to see him as a male lead. I think he can pull it off. To be honest, I thought he showed better acting chops than Min Hyun, if I may say so.
Yeah, I liked him a lot. Like, I had kind of run-on type feelings for him, where I was, like, more excited when his scenes would come up.
I started getting really excited for him.
And I feel bad because I love Min Hyun and I love him in Alchemy of Souls so much. So I hope he gets a chance to shine. Yeah,
I thought his chemistry with her was so good. When they were like alone talking and he would give her these like intense looks, I was like, whoa. Like I loved it. I thought it was great. So yeah, let's hope he gets more roles. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, overall, a good drama, not great. Well, I think it was good, not great. You're more of,
right.
Would you say good? No, you would say okay. You would say it was okay.
I wouldn't I wouldn't recommend it.
Okay. I think I would.
I didn't hate it, but I wouldn't recommend it.
I think I would if you're in for kind of like a low investment type of thing.
If you're in for boredom.
Oh my God. Boredom. Oh, well, let me say one more thing. They wrapped up every storyline because I think they needed to pad out the last episode. But they wrapped up every fucking storyline. Like the her mom and dad getting them back together. That was like a whole thing. And I gotta be honest, I was fast forwarding through that. I'm like, this is very nice and everything, but I don't
know,
care.
But like, who cares?
You do not have to give us this much on these two people. So they really, really did. They wrapped up everything. I mean, I really felt like everyone was given.
Yeah, if you want a thorough drama.
It was thorough. I mean, I'm telling you, this is one drama that I don't think left plot threads hanging. In a way where they like unfinished. They sewed them all up nice and tight. All right.
So yeah, so Leah watched one episode and pieced.
Yeah, she was like, I was bored. I was like, well,
she knew.
She knew before we did.
She did. But I feel bad. I don't want to make anybody feel bad who enjoyed it. Because we like what we like and we don't like what we don't like, and that's fine. Right. And if everybody loved every single drama, then, I mean, that would be weird. It's, it's like we get that with like the books that we write. Not everybody's going to love what I write, and I understand that. Yeah. I will say, speaking of writing, just her character, I was like, oh, that would be so fun to have a character who could detect lies in just a contemporary romance. And like, yeah. Like imagine her like on dating apps and stuff like that and like going and meeting guys for first dates. Like that would be so fun.
Yeah, like I feel like they could have taken, I would love to see this like liar premise in like a rom-com too. Like, that's
what I'm saying. Like,
oh, that'd be so fun. You're right.
Contemporary romance type situation. Like, because here's the thing. We didn't get to see her. We saw her use it more for business than we did see her like use it in her day-to-day life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I would be much more invested in seeing how she navigated the lies in her day-to-day life. Right.
Which, anyway. Well, I mean, part of it was that I think they like avoided that by just saying, oh, she doesn't have any friends and she doesn't date. I was like, well, I mean, okay. Guess put it that way.
So it's just her mom.
Her crazy mom.
Yep.
All right. Well, we hope you like this episode. It went long, but we covered a lot. I didn't feel rushed.
Including a 5K.
And the Kelsey Swift situation. So, yeah, anyway.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah. Until next time.
Annyeong. Kamsahamnida. Thank you for listening to Afternoona Delight. Where can you find us outside the pod? Head on over to afternoonadelight.com. That's AFTERNOONADELIGHT.com. You'll find links to all our social media, our book recs, K-pop and K-skincare recs, and if you want even more Afternoona Delight, because really who doesn't, you can join our Patreon, where you can choose the patron level that's right for you. Join in daily K-drama conversations, listen to bonus podcast episodes just for patrons, and participate in our monthly live K-drama support group via Zoom. We can't wait for you to be a part of the community. Until next time, annyeong!